Today we're going to learn how to set up a new course and then set up an assessment so that when you are trying to figure out what kids know and what they need to know at the beginning of the year to kind of guide your design process for your course. This will give you pretty quick instant feedback as to what that looks like. So the first thing you need to do is we're going to use our learning management system, which is Canvas. You're going to go to your dashboard, and on the lower right hand side of your dashboard you should have a gray button here that says start a new course. So we're going to start a new course, and in this case you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Popple Practice because this is just my practice course, but you can name it whatever your course name is for this year. And then you're going to hit create. You don't have to change any of the other information. Then you're going to see you've got some options here. The most important thing I would say is once you create everything, you're definitely going to want to go over here to where it says publish and turn that on. That's going to allow you to choose your front page. In this case, I'm just going to leave it on the default, which is course modules, and then you'd have to choose and publish. Since there's nothing in this course yet, I can't publish it yet. So once we do our initial quiz, we'll be able to go ahead and publish this and it'll show up. Okay, so we're going to close that. But the very first thing I want to do is that a lot of you are going to be teaching the same class multiple times throughout the day. So we want to set up, instead of having to create multiple courses, different courses, we want to set up sections within this course in order to house those students all in the same course, but have maybe different sections of the gradebook. So all the way down on the left hand side, you're going to see the option here. Let me see if I can make my page a little bigger. You're going to see an option that says settings. So we're going to click in settings. Okay, and up here at the top, you're going to see a part that says sections. So you're going to click on sections and we're going to add a new section. So say you're going to teach the same thing first period. Maybe you're going to teach the same thing during second period. And maybe you have the same course during sixth period. Okay, so this is going to not only allow you to view different sections of the gradebook, but as we create our first quiz, maybe you have a different quiz that you want to give out to maybe your ESS students, or you're teaching an ESOL course. You can also create those within this. So maybe that sixth period we have an ESS section. Okay, this is just for you, for your notations, or maybe you code it differently. So instead of ESS, maybe you just put E. It's however you want to do it. So I'll leave ESS on there just for this practice purpose, but you can totally change that to whatever you need, or you can name them whatever you want to name them. So maybe you name them by your co-teacher, or maybe you name them, by a shape or an animal or whatever, however you want to do it. Okay, so once that's in there, we're going to go back to our course details, and just to be safe, I'm just going to update the course details to save everything. Okay, then you are ready to start creating things for everybody in your course or just specific groups. So now I'm going to go over here to pages. I'm sorry, not pages. We're going to go over here to you can either go to home or you can go to modules. I'm going to leave my modules as my home page. So I'm going to go home, okay? And I'm going to go to create a new module. You can absolutely create a quiz this way, but for navigation purposes, I want to create this the fastest way possible and have the least amount of clicks. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit new module. And we're going to call this Unit 1, okay? And then you've got the option here to add things to your new unit. Okay, so modules is basically like how you want to organize your course. So if you're teaching multiple content within the same class, because you're in primary education, elementary school, maybe you have a math, science, English, social studies sections instead of different units. So now that I've got this here, I want to add to it. So I'm going to click on the little plus sign here because I want to add something to it. And the very first thing I want to add is a quiz, because I want to take, I want my kids to take this to see what they already know, what they need to know, and what they've learned already. Okay. So we're going to give this our name as intro KWL, okay? So now that I've got that set up, I can go in and edit it. Okay. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's going to allow me to go into the course or into that assignment here, and I'm going to hit edit on it. Okay. Now I've got some options here. Okay. The very first thing you're going to do is, if you want to take it for a grade, like participation grade or whatever you're allowed to, you can take it as a practice quiz, a survey, or an ungraded survey. Completely up to you. So I'm going to take this as a graded survey. Okay. That's going to change the amount of questions or how the questions that I've got. So I'm going to do it as a graded survey. You can put it in whatever group you would like. Right now we only have assignments set up, but you can always move that later as you create different groups within your grade book. And that's for another day. And we're going to make this out of 10 points, okay? No need to shuffle the answers. If I was giving a quiz, I could. No need for multiple attempts because it's a survey and you can let them see their information right away. Down below that, you've got options as you make more quizzes, like more summative assessments. You can add access codes or IP addresses so they can't take things at home or even put them in a lockdown browser. And right now I have this set up going to everybody, but if you click that out, now you see I've got options for the different sections. So say I just want to give this to my 6th period, and maybe I just want to give it, maybe I do want to give it to my 6th period as well, my ESS section. So if I start typing that again, it's going to give me other options, and you can put as many different sections in here as possible. If you want to give it to everyone, you just pick for everyone, and then you don't have to list out all the different groups, okay? And then you just slide down and you can hit save on that. If you don't want to hit save at this point, because you want to continue working on the quizzes, that's okay. But I like to save it as I go just to make sure that I have the right information here. So I'm going to hit continue. And as you see now, it's going to show exactly who I'm giving that to. Okay, so I'm going to hit edit now so I can add in some questions. And you're going to have 2 different sections up here at the top. The details is where it's going to give me the option to tell kids what it is. So please take this survey about the topics we will be covering in class this year. Okay, and I'm going to do this as, yeah, I'm gonna put the details within each of the questions. So now I'm gonna go to questions here, and I'm gonna add a new question. Okay, so you've got all these different options for types of questions here. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and do a essay question and say this class is about environmental science. So I'm going to put on here a question about explain what you already know about biodiversity. Okay, so now they've got to write down everything that they already know about that. I'm going to change the point value on this to 5 because I did make this out of 10 points. So I'm going to update that question, and then they're going to have an essay question on there. Okay, and maybe I'm going to add a second question. It's a multiple choice question that is about pollution. Okay, so pollution, if I can spell right, pollution is mainly destroying the rainforest. Okay, so maybe I want to make this, let's change this instead of multiple choice, let's change this to a true false question. Okay, and obviously the answer on this one is going to be false because it's not just destroying the rainforest. Okay, so now I'm going to update this question here. Okay, let me just edit that and make sure that that actually got the false on there, which it didn't. So let me go back and hit multiple choice on that and true false on there, and correct answer, possible answer there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and save this. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me close that. We want to save and publish this. And yes, it's going to let me verify again in case you didn't save at the beginning that we're excluding these groups from this survey. Okay, and hit continue on that. So now it's saved. Okay, I'm going to go back to my home page because I want to make sure that my course is published here. Okay, so that kids can start taking that survey. They're going to see this when they first log in. Okay, so now if I go into that quiz there, I can see that I've got some options up here to moderate the quiz. So if I need kids to be able to take this quiz again, I can go in here and do this because you can give them additional attempts since I only have it set up at 1 attempt right now. Okay, let me go back here. But I think the most important thing here to know is that you've got options here to have survey results. And the survey results is going to be really important because right now, obviously, there haven't been any kids that take it, but when you look at the survey results, it's going to give you a quick snapshot of what your class statistics look like, and it's going to make data analyzation very, very quick. So as you're adding in some of the questions, maybe from standardized tests or something that they need to know for the final, you're going to have a real quick snapshot as to what you need to teach and really spend your time on for the year, or maybe in a specific unit. So this is really great to use for some formative assessments for your design process prior to you really taking the time to design your entire unit's lesson. So you can really customize it for the course that you're teaching now. That is about it for this one.